What's up, bosses? Glad to be back with you all. We got one hell of a show as I make my return. Here's what we've got this week. Tender rejections hit an all-time high. We break down the do's and don'ts to prevent cargo theft. We explain the importance of checking those smoke detectors, and we're dispelling some fears that diesel is dying. Let's get rolling. Alright bosses, as they say, time is money, and during the holiday it's even more important. So let's jump right in. You've probably been watching the freight market fluctuate a lot this year. Right now it dipped a little thanks to the holiday, but in general all signs are pointing up. In fact, experts say that the online holiday shopping season started off higher than last year, so that's pretty good. And it also means that spot rates, tender volumes, and rejections are all likely to keep moving in positive directions. Now, while there was a dip in volumes thanks to the holiday, the rejections continued the all-time high pattern they were on, and most experts expect that it means higher contract rates come bid season. So here's hoping that there's more money to be made as we close out 2020. Now let's stick to the rate theme, shall we? Our regulations correspondent Brad Kuhn took a deeper dive into rates and how they're calculated. Check out part 1 of his report.
This was the scene outside the White House 6 months ago when freight rates dipped to record lows and truckers went to Washington demanding a federal investigation. 6 months later, shippers can't find enough drivers to haul their loads at any price. What is the deal with freight rates? Here's how the eggheads explain it.
There was a 23% decrease in the load-to-truck ratio last week, down to 4.26 loads per truck. That was driven by load post volumes, which dropped 15%. They're still 134% higher year over year, so that's significant, but available capacity.
If you can follow that, great. All I see is flying spaghetti monster. So I get it. Freight rates are complicated, and when it comes to understanding complicated things, I need somebody to draw me a picture. So, what do we know? I think we can all agree that when it comes to freight rates, low is bad and high is good, but how much is enough and how low can rates go before truckers feel the pinch? It costs $1 a mile just to turn a key and run a truck down the road. About half of that is fuel, and then you've got the cost of vehicle, maintenance, insurance, tires, tolls. And we should probably throw in another 25 cents to cover unpaid travel, deadheads, and commutes. And then there's loading and unloading, which is also often unpaid, so let's throw in another quarter for that. That's $1.50, and we haven't even paid the driver yet for actual time spent hauling the load. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average driver earned between 28 and 40 cents per mile in 2019. Dr. Michael Belzer is one of the world's leading authorities on trucker compensation.
We've researched this and studied this and documented this in recent years, and it's just really crystal clear. You can see it. Once a truck driver's compensation gets up to 60 cents a mile, a trucker is much more likely to be willing to work 60 hours a week.
That's not only good for the trucker, he says, but it helps other owner-operators by reducing capacity on the spot market. That reduces the need to haul cheap freight for gas money and improves highway safety by removing the need to rush or drive sick or tired. So let's go with that. In a perfect world, an owner-operator in today's market should be getting at least $2.10 a mile to cover costs, drive safely, and make a decent living. Problem solved, right? Except it's not a perfect world, and like this graph shows, rates are complicated. We've still got a lot to cover, but that's all we have time for today. In part 2, we'll look at some of the market forces affecting the rate equation, and then we'll wrap with a third segment on brokers and third-party logistics, the intermediaries who find drivers for shippers in exchange for a cut of the shipping fee. For the Truck Boss Show, I'm Brad Kuhn. I'll see you down the road.
Thanks, Brad. Don't worry, that's only part 1. We gotta keep you guys coming back for more, right? So hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss part 2. Now, Isela, tell us a little bit about how we can protect our cargo during this busy season.
Cargo theft is on the rise, as it is every holiday season. For 2020, electronic thefts have been down, but thefts for household paper products like toilet paper, cleaning products like disinfectant sprays, and PPE have increased. The top 3 states that were targeted this past Thanksgiving was California, Texas, and Georgia. CargoNet suggests parking unattended equipment and cargo in high security yards with tall fence that have surveillance, high visibility lights, and for those who are on the go, investing in high security locks and seals to prevent trailer burglaries, and tracking devices to monitor unattended equipment. So make sure you stay out on the lookout. And don't worry, we got you. Down below, we have links of states that are high on theft. Now let's go to Carlin, who's talking about diesel.
Thanks, Isela. I'm sure you've heard the claims that diesel and gas are about to become things of the past as we move into the next presidential administration. Well, we're here to tell you that there's no cause for concern. Our friends over at FreightWaves sat down with Alan Schaefer, the director of the Diesel Technology Forum, and he said that while the 46th president is expected to push for more policies to combat climate change, he will be taking a realist approach. Change takes time, and right now diesel is the driving force to our economy. Schaefer went on to say that there will be changes, like the Cleaner Trucks Initiative, which is already in motion, but will probably be changed again before being released by the new administration, and more support for the Diesel Emission Reduction Act, which was passed in 2005 with the goal of helping fleets replace old diesel engines with cleaner, newer ones. Now, most companies are already looking at ways to reduce pollutants, be it by going to fully electric rigs or updating the truck and trailer's aerodynamics to get better gas mileage. But all of these changes will take time. Diesel trucks are here, well, for lack of a better term, the long haul, but they will become incrementally better as we progress towards a cleaner way of transportation. Now, Isela, what else do you have for us?
Carlin, here's a quick trucking tip for our truckers out there. I heard of an incident that happened at a truck stop in Oregon where 3 trailers and a van caught fire at a TA. A van parked near a reefer unit of a trailer sparking a blaze that consumed all 4 vehicles. Now, this is something that gets overlooked in the trucking life, the need of smoke detectors. It was unfortunate that those trucks caught fire, but thankfully no one was inside. Now, just imagine if there was, and they didn't have no smoke detector. It would have been tragic. In fact, having a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector can be a lifesaver for a trucker. So for your safety, it would be really important to make that small investment. Now, that was your trucking tip. It's been a while since we visited with our friends from Drove Tech, who can help you protect your precious cargo by using smart trailer tech. Check them out.
Drove's history is in tire inflation, and that's really where we started, was with the wheel end. Adding on to inflation and then deflation capabilities, we started to look at load, and Pete really expanded that, saying, well, if we're going to connect to a sensor to figure out load, or TPMS, what else can we connect to on the trailer to make it smart and safe?
Think of it as a Swiss Army knife. It has 7 radios on it, a whole bunch of wired and wireless technologies. It can do tire inflation and deflation. It can monitor the temperature and pressure inside each tire individually through TPMS sensors. It can monitor like the brake temperature. We're integrated with hub temperature monitoring too, so if the hubs get hot or they start to vibrate, we can tell you that you got a problem with your hubs. It can integrate with ABS systems and tell you what's wrong with it and what to check. It will also tell you if your brake pads are wearing. Also knows if the door's been open, the weight of the vehicle, speed of the vehicle. It has a GPS, it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee radio, and it also has cellular communications back up to the cloud so you can monitor it remotely. And it also has a mobile communications back to the driver through a mobile app so they can see if there's any alerts or warnings that are happening on the trailer as they're driving down the road, like if they run over something and there's a tire leaking or they're going to have a blowout, it'll warn them beforehand.
What Airbox One is doing, the drivers need to know that information so that they can prep for the journey and make sure that our trailer health is in good condition. So what this screen will tell you is if your tires are good, if your lights are good, if you have enough air pressure in the tires, you have enough air tank pressure to do the journey, the camera image inside the trailer is good, if the load inside is so that it doesn't fall during the journey. That all can be displayed over here, and it gives the information to the driver if it's ready to use or if he needs to make sure something needs to be done to it. The Airbox One runs on its own battery as well as the vehicle power that truck provides. So when the trailer is just parked in the yard for a few months, you still need to know what condition the trailer is in so that the fleet manager can assign the trailer to whichever location it wants to be in. The Airbox One wakes up and gives all the information every day, and the solar panel basically keeps the battery charged so that it can do that function and still be able to give you all the information.
And they can drill down to any trailer, or they can see a whole overview of a whole fleet. seeing the health of the fleet. How many trailers are parked, where they're parked, how many need to get looked at, and what they need to get looked at. They can find any trailer anywhere.
I think what's exciting about it is the way that we've built Airbox One. It is for today's driver and making the driver safer, avoiding fines. I think the way that we've designed it, it's been futuristic, but applicable to making the driver as safe today as they possibly can be.
You know, Isela, it was really cool to see Drove Tech kind of bring the trailers into the 21st century and beyond, if you will, because, you know, a lot of people don't think about it, but the trailers are just as important, if not a little bit more important, since, you know, they're the ones where all the cargo goes, than the rigs that people drive. So it's cool to see them kind of take the next step, if you will.
Oh, yeah, of course. And I think, I mean, it's not a bad investment. You know, safety is number one. And when there's, you know, technology that can help you with that, why not?
Exactly. Now, I was away on vacation last week, but you were in Ardmore, Oklahoma, chatting with a pretty cool guy. Tell us about him.
Yes, you know, another hidden gem here in our home state in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and I had the chance to visit with Chris, Jet Services Inc. He has an interesting story. What I liked about him is what his dream was, that he wanted to be a truck driver at a very young age. And life happened, and, well, he had to take over his father's business, but I'm not going to say too much. All I know is that he still does a little bit of truck driving, but you have to check him out. So stay tuned for that one tomorrow.
That's right. And looking a little further ahead to next week, we have a pretty awesome show for you guys. It's the Truck Lovers Show, if you will. So we're first checking in with Matt and Joey, those guys. Matt's got a new toy. You know, he's been telling us about this new truck he was going to get for literally years at this point, and he finally gets it, and he's going to give us a little preview of it. Show us what it's like. And then you guys know that we went to the Busted Knuckle Truck Show in Tonkawa, Oklahoma, which was hosted by the Oklahoma Truck Supply, right, Isela? That's the name?
Right, that's it. That's who it was.
But we are actually highlighting Sean Gibson. He's from my hometown, Broken Bow, Oklahoma. He had 4 trucks in that show. 2 of them were worked on at the actual Oklahoma Truck Supply. So he came back, you know, showed them some love, you know, showed off his awesome ride that was built there. So you don't want to miss next week's show. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't.
Yeah, you know, we have a lot of hidden gems and a lot of neat, you know, I would say awesome people coming out of Oklahoma, our own home state. Little did we know. But, you know, moving on. So, guys, you already know that here on the Truck Boss Show, we're always wanting to hook you up. And, well, for the month of December, we're getting ready to give you our Boss Box giveaway. Or if you don't want to miss out. Did I say that right?
Right.
Yeah, no. And, you know, one of the cool things is, of course, you know, 2020 has been such a tough year, Carlin, that I'm hoping that we kind of make our people their day. Like, we make their day with the cool little gift that we hook them up with. And, of course, you can do that here on the Truck Boss Show. It's free.
It's free.
Great.
It's not hard to enter, right? Like, all they have to do is listen to what we say and then do whatever we say. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Boom, enter to win.
Yeah, and if you want to be part of the giveaways or just follow us on the daily, because, you know, we could not do this without you. All you have to do, it's so simple. Just go to our Facebook page, Truck Boss Show, and click follow, subscribe, comment, share, whatever it is that you want to do. Just come along for the ride. And that way you stay in contact with us and you don't miss out on these giveaways.
That's right. Or any other great content that we put out there. So, yeah, like, share, invite your friends to like us so that way we can keep doing this. Because at the end of the day, as Isela said, we can't do it without you guys.
This, Carlin?
Because you're the boss.